Got a streak going. Gonna get some music. I already have. Ooh. Monkey!
Situations bring you back to me. Oh, love is never break up. I guess you want that. So in my head, you said I'm done to forget. I bit the bullet for you, for you. I wrote a song to many planes, so I hope you really know that I've been thinking about you. Oh, thinking about you. When it's dark out, I'm on what you need, yeah. Listen to the beating of your heart song. When it's dark out, I'm on what you need, yeah. Listen to the beating of your heart song. Song. Da-dum, da-dum,
Alright, so
da-dum.
how we doing?
Da-dum, da-dum, da-dum. Da-dum, da-dum, da-dum.
Mobile games are going big. Clash of Clans is now available on PC with Google Play Games. Experience more ways to play and sync your in-game progress between your PC and mobile devices. Immerse yourself in the world of Clash of Clans with a larger PC screen and mouse controls. First-time players on PC will also receive
Play the music!
Situations bring you back to me. Oh, love is never break up. I guess you want that. So in my head, you said I'm done to forget. I bit the bullet for you, for you. I wrote a song to many planes, so I hope you really know that I've been thinking about you. Oh, thinking about you. When it's dark out, I'm on what you need, yeah. Listen to the beating of your heart song. When it's dark out, I'm on what you need, yeah. Listen to the beating of your heart song. Song. Da-dum, da-dum, da-dum. Da-dum, da-dum, da-dum. Da-dum, da-dum, da-dum.
Okay.
Journey to the East in Final Fantasy XIV Stormblood. Now in
I recorded 2 of these today, but this, I don't know which one's gonna come out first. So if this is the first one, hello. If this is the second one, hello again. Gonna do a cover of a song that I really like. And I'm sure you've heard it by now. It's called Mr. Loverman by Ricky Montgomery. So here we go. I'm headed straight for the floor. The alcohol served its tour, and it's headed straight for my skin, leaving me deaf and dim. I've got this shake in my leg, shaking the thought you say, hey, have me running on. I'm cramping up, I'm cramping up. But you're cracking up.
Included in the free trial.
I don't want to play any game at all. Like, I'm done with gaming, I think. for the time being. I think it's time for me to move on. I'm 33 years old. I have nothing to my name. I have a PC, 2 guitars, a few vinyls, and
It's fucking weird, man. Because, like, whenever you're, like, 22 years old, you feel so good about living at your mom's house and having her deliver you nuggets to your computer chair that you sit there all day playing video games at. And it feels so good. And I remember, how do I know that? I wonder how I know that. And I did it for years and years and years. It was so good. It was amazing. Like, if I could fucking go in a time machine back to fucking that time and then just sit there for 1,000 years and just chill with the boys, playing WoW, going to McDonald's, you know, trying to scrounge up some fucking money to buy a 44-ounce drink. It was so good. Like, how could you ever want to leave that? But it leaves you. And then you're 29 and you're 30 years old, 33 years old. And it's just something that's inside of you that says it's time to do something different. And it's so scary because everything that you spent your whole life doing, everything that made you so happy every single day, is now the one thing that you want to get away from. Fuck.
and that's it. That's all I have. And
Yeah.
I didn't see things like this for me growing up. I always thought, I don't know, I would build things and do interesting things, not just
I never did.
entertain people
I never did.
online. Entertain.
This was genuinely, like, right here, what I'm doing right now is genuinely what I expected to do whenever I was like 5 years old. Playing video games, chilling with the boys, fucking around, having fun, eating fast food, drinking soda. Like, this is exactly what I wanted to do when I was a little fucking kid.
Just talk shit.
Not
And repeat
farming
the same
Gmod.
thing over and over and
Yeah.
answer the same questions over and over. That's not a very fulfilling life, like, at all. For a lot of people, like, it's gonna be hard for you to understand. You're like, what is
Yeah.
he talking about? Like, I wish too I could be playing video games all day and be paid for it. Let me tell you something.
It's
like,
hard.
there's maybe, like, in PoE 10 streamers at most
Yeah.
who make more than minimum wage streaming. So you have to realize
Yeah, it
that
sucks.
your minimum wage, if you're a successful streamer, comes at a cost of you having no social life, of working, of being like, accessible 20
Yeah.
hours a day. Because even when you sleep, people are going to ask you, how do you manage to fit like 2 auras in your build? Because they forgot to get like an enlightened.
I think that this is what he's saying now is definitely true, but I think part of this is voluntary. Like, the PoE community is extremely hardcore, so it's definitely, this is much more true for the PoE community. As a WoW player or just like a general player in general, like, or a streamer in general, I don't think that you have this level of expectation on you in terms of being online all the time or not having a social life. Like, for some people, it's definitely the case, and especially if you're trying to grind your stream and grow your stream, it becomes more of the case. But overall, it's not. I think it's definitely more true for some games than for other games.
For example, right? You will always have to be there. It's not worth it. It is not worth it. I can work at McDonald's and have more free time and more money
As
than
a
right now.
PoE
It's
streamer, I wouldn't be
crazy, man.
surprised.
It is crazy. I've got a master's degree in finance and accounting. I can, I can just
Also,
get
he's got a real degree, not like in a dance theory or something like that. But that's see, this is the kind of person that's a top player. So now like, just he said that, like, now you know he's actually a top player in PoE because he has a finance degree in accounting, as a master's degree in accounting. Yeah, he wasn't lying whenever he said he was really good at PoE.
Job, so I'm going to use this instead of bitching. It's kind of sad, you know, the dream is over. I thought for a moment, for a hot second, I thought I had it to really pop off. But just as I knew as I realized what I needed to do, I just didn't feel like it was for me anymore. Twitch changed a lot. I think we can all see this now. Whenever you join something, every streamer is trying to sell you something. I've been there. I've sold you stuff, and I hated it. Trying to sell you content, trying to sell you hype, trying to sell you, I don't know, like a vision. When I see like everybody trying to like network, like doing some video edit for us as streamers to get clout and do this, trying to get attention and all that, dude, it hurts my
Dude, leaning back, looking up, asking yourself, why God have you put me in this place today? It feels like, you know what it feels like to me with like Twitch? It feels like Twitch used to be for losers and I fit in. And now it's for normal people, and now I'm a weirdo again. Like I used to be like I used to be king of the losers, but now like there's normal people that like have jobs and you know they care about fucking what clothes you're wearing and shit. And like those are the exact people that I'm like, I don't want to be in society. I don't like, these guys are weird, right? It's becoming a lot more like, streaming now is becoming a lot more like mainstream celebrity culture than it used to. And that makes me uncomfortable.
Oh man, it hurts my soul. You know, I was here on Twitch since day one. I remember I used to hang out on 4chan, on B, and when Justin TV launched Twitch, like we had like kind of like a viewing party where we just put link of streams and just go around and see what's up, right? And just have a good time. So I was here on Twitch since the very first day. And
it was a long time ago.
It was just so cool, man. It felt like a little island of just fun. Like it felt like a Saturday morning with your bro.
Yeah.
When you're 12 years old, eating cereals, playing games, and like beating each other's ass.
There's another reason why he feels this way is because he turned it into a job. It's like a game is fun to play, but whenever you have to play it, it's not as fun anymore. So like, I think that, yeah, Twitch has changed, but also making it a job is going to change it too for you. And there's also like so much more of a fixation on like metrics and analytics and like viewer count, stuff like this, that I think that maybe 5 years ago, it really wasn't quite as popular.
That's how Twitch felt for the longest time. But now it felt like everybody's got their fucking, how do you call this? Like the E-leaves. It's like purple and green neon lights and like some dark synthwave playlist playing and some like colored hair with the fuckboy haircut. And like, yo, what's up, you guys? All right, today I got the thing for you. It's just like, dude, am I watching a fucking infomercial for gaming? You know what I mean? Like, this
don't forget
Twitch
like, comment, subscribe.
And me being a streamer ruined gaming for me.
Yeah.
It ruined gaming. And like, there's no way. It did. And it took me so long to realize, and I'm so mad now.
I mean, streaming ruined Classic WoW for me. I don't think it necessarily ruined all games, but it definitely ruined Classic WoW. That was not good at all. But yeah, I mean, like, I remember there are people that they just, like, their energy levels are really, really high on making these YouTube videos, and it's kind of off-putting for me. Like, obviously, like, I have kind of, I'd say, like, my energy level on stream is, like, maybe a 7 or, like, an 8. Like, I'm pretty dialed up, too. But I like entertaining people. There's, like, a part of my personality that, like, I get a lot out of that. Like, it's not all my personality. There's another part of my personality. I like just sitting there chilling, just talking, right? But it's, you know, different parts of the same person. Zachar is 2. Yeah, Zachar is like a 3 or a 4, right? Whereas Asmongold's like a 7 or an 8.
I'm so mad. Maybe it's because I'm getting older and I have other things. Like, I think I'm at the point in my life where I just, you know, honestly, it's going to sound pathetic, but I just want to make a family. I just want to have a family. You know, I want to have kids.
I remember I watched this on my second stream and I was like, what a loser, dude. Imagine having, dude, imagine giving up like epic mounts for like a kid. Like, whatever, dude. Wow. Imagine that.
I wanna tend to my garden. I wanna grow some fucking tomatoes. Give it to my wife and be like, hey, I made this. And then look at her and be like, it's good. And her like giving like a half forced smile, be like, yeah, it's better than the store bought for sure. You know,
Yeah.
like I want to be a normie, dude. I know I will never be, but that's what I want right now. I want to have a job where I'm not a fucking slave to fucking public opinion. I think it's
Yeah.
better to be a fucking slave, a wage slave, than a Twitch chat slave, because you guys are never happy. You guys always talk shit. When you want me to play like fucking 20 hours to find you the good builds, to find you the good strats, and then like you pop up like, oh, you look tired so much. Yo, guess what? I am. Everybody is. Like, just go around on PoE Twitch.
I think it's really important, like, as a streamer, to have boundaries. Like, for me, I used to get, like, overwhelmed by people trying to, like, kind of get into my attention or, like, you know, do other shit like that. Whereas, like, later on, I just, I said, fuck it, man. I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and that's all there is to it. And people push you in that way, and they make you do that certain kind of thing, man. Guys, fuck, if I sit in a gray office for 10 hours a day and hate living, what a dipshit. I really feel so bad for people who think that that's the only way that you can live your life or have a job. I mean, there's plenty of jobs that are fun to do, that people enjoy doing. They get to see their friends at their job, and it makes them happy and feel good about themselves. Just because you don't have a job like that, just because your job sucks, doesn't mean that that's the only outcome that's possible. There's plenty of, you know, enjoyable jobs that people did. Like my dad, for example. He had a job that he worked at for a long time, and yes, sometimes he wanted to throw people out the window, but the rest of the time he had fun. And he had like a lot of friends, like a lot of the people that, like, you know, like were like kind of uncles to me, really. Like, I mean, these were like my dad's like work friends, and he was really good friends with them. And you know, like he brought me up, and I knew these people, and it was great. I know this is hard to process or whatever, but I used to have a job. Like, I know this, and it was awful. Like, I hated having to wake up. Like, I had to wake up as, oh, fuck, I have to wake up. I have to be there, right? Like, yeah, there were things that were awful about it. But at the end of the day, I did enjoy going to my job. I saw my friends, and it was good. You know? Like, it was good. And there are many people out there that have that experience. I remember, I thought, so this is a experience that I had whenever I quit Sam's Club. Okay, this is my last real job was Sam's Club. I thought that I was never going to go back to school again. I thought I would never go back to school again. I would never do, you know, I would never have like a good job. I just don't really give a shit. I just want to make enough money to where I can sit at home and play video games and forget about the rest of it and just be a slacker. The second day at that job, maybe the first day at that job, I immediately went home and signed up to go to college at one of the universities here. That day. That was that day. I said, you know what? Fuck this. And it didn't happen overnight. I didn't get in overnight. I fucking signed up to go to UT Law, or not, the UT Business School, and I got declined. But you see what I'm saying? Is like, that motivated me, and I worked towards changing my situation. You don't just flip a switch.
Everybody looks like that's their last day on earth, dude. They're like, oh, dude, I want to go. Like, why am I doing this? I want to fucking go. I have to find my 30 sub for today, or else I'm going to get kicked out from my apartment. That's the stage we fucking reach. Like, go around. Like, go to Twitch Path of Exile. Everybody wants to end. Everybody's gone. It feels like a depression support group.
People want to...
And
that's
I think
sad.
it's time for me to go. Now, I'm not talking shit. If you're a streamer and we know each other and you watch this video, I really, really wish you the best. I really hope you can make it work and you can make it last. And I really hope there's a good game that comes to replace this fucking shit show. Because you might not say it, but I know you, and I see it in your eyes. Like, you cannot wait for this game to die out and for another game to like replace it. Like a fresh hype, fresh new mechanics, fresh world's first.
I think like a lot of that is like, I agree. I think there's people that feel the same way with WoW. But I do think that some of that is a construct of getting older. It's like you're looking for that next new, you're looking for the new frontier, right? The next adventure, the next thing that you can overcome. But you're never going to find it because it's something that's internal. Like, it's not, there's not a game, the game can't do this anymore. That's why he wants to have like a wife and kids, is because that's the new frontier. That's something different than what he's been doing. Doesn't matter what game he plays. Doesn't matter if it's Diablo 5. It's not going to make a difference.
That's what you want. And I know you're tired of defending GGG, right? But I know they also, you know, you got to get, you got to get your money. And I've been there, and I'm still there. You got to get your money, so sometimes you have to say things or pander to people that you don't necessarily want to.
Yeah.
But it's okay. I really hope you'll make it, bro, or sister, or others. We do not discriminate here. Anyways, yeah. So TLDR, I know like I should do this before. TLDR, PoE trash. Baked chicken was right. Twitch changed. I changed. Everybody changed. Everybody. If you see me,
I think it's important to acknowledge that like the fact that he acknowledged that he changed. That's very important because it's definitely not just all on a game. And it's the same with WoW, right? I mean, there's plenty of people who just grow out of the game. That happens a lot.
Game, logged in, minding my own business. Please don't ask me questions about builds. I will not answer because, well, that's not my job anymore. So
True.
you're not entitled to my time anymore. And this is great. This is amazing. So I'm going to...
Should have done what I did. I never did that. People are like, what are you playing, man? Bro! I'm like, man, I want to be left. I want to play the game in the dark by myself, listening to Metallica. The guy's entitled. Wait, so he's entitled, but you're not whenever you're mad that he doesn't want to talk to you. So he's entitled for not wanting to talk to you, but you're not entitled because you think he should have to talk to you? What do you mean? I think there's some entitlement, but it's not going the way you think it is.
I'm going to go back maybe to playing a little bit for myself, play other games,
play for yourself,
get a job. And yeah, I think, you know what? I think I can get a pretty decent job. I can get a pretty decent job. I'm not that dumb, you know, I've got a degree and all that. And yeah, I'll get a job, go back to working out, like kind of fix this mess that my body has become, do a full blood checkup, get some physiotherapy for my back because, well, I've been gaming on this stupid chair for many, many years now. And yeah, just go back to my normification. Cannot wait. And just spend some quality time with my girlfriend, maybe build, maybe not a career, but build something that I like. And slowly but surely, like, get my love for gaming back. I'm not saying this is the end of my streaming. If there's a game that is worthy of me losing my life over it, I will come back. And I will geek out.
I love to hear that, man, because that's exactly what I say. I'm just waiting for a game that's worth wasting your life over.
I will quit my job and geek out.
It is hard.
I've always done this. I might do it again, unless I'm really comfortable in my situation. But no date, so you can cancel your sub. You should cancel your sub, and you know, I'll stay away from socials as much as possible. I will make a new personal Discord account for just my close friends.
That's nice.
And yeah, it was a fun journey, dude. I feel like it hasn't hit me yet. I don't want to make it overly emotional. It's just, you know, it was a phase. Maybe I should call my mom and tell her, Mom, you're right. It was just a phase. But yeah, your boy So Mad
Mom, you were
here.
Right.
Signing out. And yeah, it actually hits me pretty hard.
It's sad to make the video, isn't it?
But I cannot look back. It's unhealthy.
Yeah, it's sad to make the video.
And I think I've got to finally start respecting myself instead of just being a beggar online for subs. Yeah.
I got no problem being a beggar online for subs. Okay. Like I live as a degenerate. I will always be a degenerate.
Okay.
And I love it.
Hey, good luck everybody out there. Life is tough. Go get your vaccine.
It's gonna
Start
upset
living
some
again.
people.
Respect yourself. Respect your surrounding. And no, you don't have to keep playing this game, man. You don't have to do it yourself, okay? You can break the cycle. And it's hard for me. Like, to me, quitting PoE is just changing my life entirely.
It's especially like for me, it'd be the same with WoW.
I'll be saying out. Salute everybody. Take care.
Ball
And I'll
Jeff,
give you
thanks for
one
5
last
subs,
big.
man. Appreciate it.
Yo, what up? Bye.
So yeah, I mean, it's definitely a sad video to watch. I mean, I think a lot of people probably feel this way, and especially streamers, sometimes they feel like they want to just like stop streaming. And I think also like it's the same as like what he was saying before about how like streamers, they feel like they have to say and do certain things. And like, for example, whenever an event happens or something happens, there are definitely like correct opinions to have. So, like for example, like hating Alinity was the correct opinion to have that I did not have. Everybody got mad at me for it. Let's see. What are some other opinions that I've had over the years, guys? I'm sure you'll fucking know all of them because you're the ones making the threads about them, the hate threads on Reddit about them. What were the other things that people have said? The Hong Kong thing, yeah, that's another really good example. Yeah, and your take on it's gonna, yeah, people got mad at me about, yeah, the whole Leafy thing. People got really mad about like my perspective on like making content that I feel is at other people's expense, and like a million. There was like 20 videos, 50 videos made about me, right? They were really mad at me, and I never stopped thinking what I was thinking. But the truth is that I'm lucky that I have a pretty big audience of people. I have a lot of people that watch my stream. So I am more resilient to being able to have an opinion that's not the norm. But if you're a smaller streamer, and even if you're just like a mid-sized streamer, there's a lot of times where like you can't have an opinion about certain things, or like everybody is gonna fucking hate you. And it happens. It definitely happens to some people, and they cancel you, and they're just tired of listening to you, and they're like, yeah, we don't like you anymore, etc. And it's scary to have that happen to you, especially as like a content creator, because it's like you want to say how you feel, right? Because of course, like streaming is to some degree, it's personal expression, but at the same time, you know that if you say how you feel about something, that you could lose a large amount of your revenue. You see what I'm saying?
Stop playing. Stop playing League if you don't have Professor yet. Yes, it makes such a big difference in all aspects of the game. Choose the best runes, follow the enemy stats, and get tips for your next game to improve. Over 9 million downloads, with a rating of 4.5 stars. Professor is here to level you up. Download it now.
All of us are racers. It's our deadly passion, our terrible joy. But if you get into one of my cars, you get in the win.
Yeah. Come on. What?
I like Ninja. I remember Ninja would be such a salty bitch whenever he'd lose sometimes in PUBG, and I fucking loved it.
Back in April 2018, when Ninja was gaining 200 million views per month on YouTube, setting world records with Drake over on Twitch, and earning 5 million.
Like, for context, like, my YouTube channel gets like 40 to 50 million views a month. So you take that and you're talking about that much more. That's like 5 times as much.
$1 million a month from his creator code.
I think the most I've ever made in a month off of the creator code was like 5 mil.
Failure probably felt like an impossibility. However,
that's some fucking crazy shit. $5 million just from the creator code. Right, that's just from Fortnite. That's not even talking about YouTube. That's not talking about sponsors, Twitch subs, anything like that. That's insane.
The past 3.5 years have been somewhat of a sobering reality check for the former king of Fortnite, forcing him to come to terms with the fact that at a certain point in his journey, whether he knew it or not, something went horribly wrong. His YouTube viewership has dropped by a mind-blowing 97% to between 4 and 6 million views per month. His Twitch viewership has dropped by an almost equally severe 92%, from 125,000 average concurrent viewers to approximately 10,000, all while his various social...
It's like back the thing is with that is like you're never gonna hold on to that level of fame. Like with Ninja was so fucking popular that it was insane. Like it was absolutely fucking insane. Didn't we watch this? Wait, did I watch this? I don't think I did. 2001 December. Oh, there's no shot I watched this. So here's the thing is like you're not going to you get up to highs and then like especially back then. Like, for example, like, nobody was getting 125,000 viewers back then. Yeah, nobody was getting 125,000 viewers back then. Like, that did not happen. Like, I remember back then, like, 2001, yeah. It just doesn't happen. Now, obviously, like, people have grown as the website has grown. And, like, that was a lot. Like, 20K viewers back then was, like, 50 or 40K viewers now. Like, that was a lot of fucking viewers. Like, 40, like, the top of Twitch was, like, 30,000 viewers. And, like, that was it. Very rarely did things ever go above that. And, like, I remember I had a few streams where I just completely popped off. And it was, like, insane how much more it was. But, yeah, breaking 10K was huge. So, like, yeah, I remember this. Like, but Ninja was, like, so popular. Like, Ninja, whenever you really put it into perspective, Ninja, like, had such a huge popularity spike with Fortnite, it was ridiculous. Like, he was on, like, you know, he was, like, interacting with, like, you know, celebrities constantly. He was making, like, $5 million a month on the creator code. It was insane. He was the biggest. Like, Ninja, even now, is the most famous gamer by a mile. Like, if you don't consider, like, PewDiePie or Mr. Beast, you just look at the numbers and, like, how many followers Ninja has and everything, and, like, the recognizability. Right? Like, you can say, like, there's a lot of people, there's, like, you know, like, iBuyFaker, XQC, absolutely. These guys are really, really popular. But I'm talking about mainstream knowledge. I think if you went to, like, a Target and you showed a picture of Ninja to 1,000 people, everybody in that random building, more people would recognize Ninja than any of those other people on the list. That's the truth. That's what I think. Like, because, like, you guys... I feel like a lot of people might not remember how popular he was. It was insane.
Media follow accounts such as Instagram have been in complete and utter freefall. Perhaps a severe, unprecedented fall was the only inevitable outcome after such a fast, unbelievable rise to fame in the first place. Only 6 months prior to gaining 200 million views per month, Ninja was basically a nobody. He had appeared on the television show Family Feud.
What do?
I'm a professional video game player. I travel across the country and compete playing video games.
And he gained a small internet following of around 100,000 YouTube subscribers as a professional Halo player dating all the way back to 2009.
Charges in, but Ninja's nowhere to be found, dude. I'm a magician.
However, Battle Royale seemed to be the genre that Ninja had been born to play. He began to mess around with H1Z1 all the way back in 2015.
Halo was horrible. No one really on Twitch watches it. And then I switched over to H1Z1.
Yeah, Halo's fucking boring to watch. That's why. It's because the developers refused to make a BR for it for some reason that nobody understands.
And that gave me a huge viewer boost.
And by early 2017, only 2 years later, Ninja had set the world record for the most kills ever in a single H1Z1 match, while also becoming ranked #1 for North American H1Z1 players, resulting in
Ninja was actually, like, really fucking good. A lot of people might not realize this, but like back in the day, like Ninja, and probably even now, like Ninja was actually a really, really, really good player. And I think that whenever you see a lot of people that are very popular with these things, a lot of them, there is like a certain degree of like actual like professional level skill involved. Yeah, he was legit
First bit
good.
of success on
He was
Twitch.
insane
At
in
my
Fortnite,
prime
too.
in H1Z1 when I was going for like kill records and getting 30 kill games and stuff like that, I was averaging like 10,000 viewers a day.
Ninja would display a similar level of skill after switching to PUBG, often finishing games with upwards of 20 kills, and having built a strong foundation with Battle Royale experience, a seamless
Another thing that was really, really big here was this was whenever Dr. Disrespect had the thing happen, right? Where like, you know, he cheated on his wife and everything. So like this is the exact same time. So like right back then, Dr. Disrespect was like he was the big dick, right? Like everybody watched Doc every fucking day for PUBG. He was the most popular PUBG streamer by a fucking mile. And so what happened is that after Doc just completely disappeared, a lot of people, I guess like, yeah, to an extent Shroud was there too. Like, yeah, you're right. But like, especially as soon as Doc left, there was a big vacuum with like a lot of viewers. And no, Shroud was more popular. Shroud more popular. It went back and forth. You're right. It was actually like, yeah, it might have been Shroud. It might have been Doc. I think it depended on the day. But either way, they were both extremely popular. So like as soon as Doc stopped streaming for a while, I remember watching Ninja stream in PUBG and people calling him the Dr. Disrespect waiting room, and him saying like, I don't really care if people call me that. I'm just glad they're watching. So like that actually really helped Ninja out a lot whenever Doc stopped making content, because a lot of his viewers went to find somebody else. And it's like also Ninja acted like a clown, like Dr. Disrespected. Shroud just popping caps and asses. Like he's like, yeah, okay, well, okay, you're dead. Oh, we won another game? Nice. All right, Justin, you want to queue again? All right, cool. Another victory for me. And that was it, right? Like he was very relaxed. And so like, but Ninja was standing up, screaming at the mic, acting like a fucking animal. So guess what? A lot of people that watched Dr. Disrespect watched the next best thing, which was another guy that acted like a clown. That's what it is. Rax more like boring? No, I didn't think it was boring at all. I watch Shroud every day. Fuck you saying that's boring. Fuck you. Learn some respect.
Transition into Fortnite was almost guaranteed.
First impression of the game, it's fun.
When considering the previous information about his skill as a professional H1Z1 and PUBG player, it should come as no surprise that Ninja was a natural at Fortnite from the very first week. He dropped his first 20 kill game only 12 days after the game's release.
Ooh, baby! Oh, 20 mob bitches!
And his first 25.
It's like, look at that. Like, bro, look at this goofball shit. Look at this.
Ooh, baby! Oh, 20 mob bitches!
And his first 25 kills.
What the fuck is that shit, dude? Just goofing and clowning and flailing around, right? Because everyone sucked back then? That's right. So the big reason why Ninja was so popular in PUBG, or not PUBG, in Fortnite, is because Ninja, like the learning curve for him was way faster. Like Ninja was getting to like level 5 whenever everybody else was on like level 1 or 2. Or maybe 3.
Game only 3 days after that. The audience didn't flock to his channel on the very first day. However, the fact that Fortnite had a new player base meant that Ninja had exposure to a new audience. This new audience,
I think also like whenever the game was getting way more popular with a lot of people, that's also whenever it happened. First mover advantage, big, also his talent. I think what really put Ninja on the map, in my opinion, was the big kill games. Is because like a lot of people, like in general with BRs are boring to watch if the person who you're watching sucks at the game. Because they're constantly, it's like, you know what they used to call me whenever I played Warzone? They used to call the game John McCain Simulator. Because I spent the whole time in a fucking gulag. It's like nobody wants to, people don't want to watch that shit. They want to watch you come back over and over and over, right? They want to watch some shit happen. Yeah, that's what it is.
Liked him as he'd carried over a genuine, almost toxic personality that he developed during the H1Z1 and PUBG days when it only had a small following. The fact that he had this small following meant he really had nothing to lose with regards to how he acted on camera. He could be toxic, kind, annoyed, happy, whatever. It didn't matter because it always came off as authentic and genuine.
Absolutely.
In addition to this, his small audience meant he wasn't inundated with sponsorships, business opportunities, and other extracurricular activities chewing up his time. It was just raw, unfiltered gaming all all day, every day, trying to become as skilled as possible.
And also, like, he was live all of the time. Like, that was another really big factor, is that, like, Ninja was live, like, 15 hours a day. Like, he was on Adderall, fucking popping off, grinding like fucking crazy. And like, that's the thing is, like, whenever I feel like my stream is like really popping off and like I want to be live, like that's the same with never like Lost Ark, right? I was doing 10-hour days every day, basically. I still kind of am, right? Even though now we're pretty much just chilling. Yeah, it's like 2 streams per day, like Shroud back in the C9 days. Yeah, basically, yeah, XQC streams all the fucking time, right? Consistency is a big fucking thing. Because, like, a lot of people, this is what happens, right? Is they get very popular, then they get complacent, and they stop streaming as much. In my opinion, I think that people want to have a routine.
It's gonna catch up now.
And that's why I always, like, it is so hard for me to wake up early, but I do it almost, well, I don't stream on Mondays, right? But, like, I wake up early at 8 a.m. every single day because that is what I do. And that's it. Because the consistency is what matters. And that's what the big difference is. The streamers who have defined schedules, yeah, well, other people, like, I would stream more, but, like, I know what will happen if I, like, because people say, oh, just go live at 11:30. Okay. All right, that's fine. It's good. All right, yeah, I did that. And then, oh, just go live at 12:30. And then, meanwhile, 12:30 turns into 12:30 p.m., you know, or a.m., right? Or, yeah, 11:30 a.m. or p.m. Like, I have a rotating schedule, which is what I do. So I will never have a normal schedule. That's it. That logic conflicts with the statements you made about nobody caring if you take a long break. Oh, yeah. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. But it's not. The thing is that these two things do not exist, like, purely independently of each other, right? And, like, in order to build up hype and things like that, what you have to understand is that, like, before that long break, it's like almost like you become consistent and then inconsistent. It's better to go all in and then go all out than go half dick and then half dick. It's better to go all in, grind like fucking crazy, be as intense as you possibly can, put as much work into it as possible, and then cold turkey that shit, and then come back whenever you're ready to put that same energy in. That is my, like, that's what I've learned. That's what I've seen works. And I think that's the best way to do it. That's what I do, at least. Contradict myself by making 2 objectively true statements. Yeah, there's a lot of people that they'll wait for me to say something that they don't really understand, and then they'll tell me that it's different. Oh, well, but you contradicted something you said earlier. Yes, there are a lot of things that are contradictory that are simultaneously true. Life is a matter of degrees. It's not a matter of binary experiences. It's not like, oh, well, you know, if this is true, then that's not true. That's not the way the world works.
Possible to provide the best content possible. Yeah. With this approach, growth was inevitable. Ninja began to ride the tsunami-sized Fortnite wave as each and every gamer was looking for a new pro player to watch. Yeah. 1 million views turned into 7 million views the next month, then 35 million views by January 2018.
Bro, I remember, like, Ninja one time he tweeted out, there was like a picture of like him getting more interactions on Twitter than Ronaldo. Like, that was, like, he was, like, the most popular athlete on Twitter. Like, athlete meme, right? Whatever, right? But, like, still, like, that was ridiculous, man. It's like, I remember the day that he hit 100,000 viewers. Like, I didn't even know that was possible. Like, I had never seen somebody hit 100,000 viewers before on Twitch.
1 month later. At around the same point in time, approximately 3 months after the game's release, Ninja had become what many considered to be the best all-round player in the game, and was certainly one of the first people that came to mind when thinking about pro Fortnite players.
I think that there were a lot of people that were like, okay, they didn't really know Ninja. Like, Ninja might not have been the best, because there were probably other people that were. But Tfue was, yeah, I thought Tfue, well, Tfue came later, and then there was a question, like, is Tfue better than Ninja, right, whatever. But, like, what I'm saying is, like, Ninja was, like, the best person who was really well known.
His Twitch followers also exploded exponentially, growing from 500,000 to 3 million over the course of only 4 months, placing him in the position of the most followed Twitch streamer and the first streamer ever to reach 3 million followers. Yep. This would help him to then break the world record for the most concurrent viewers on a Twitch stream ever after he and Drake streamed to 628,000 people, which would then be broken again after Ninja hosted an amateur professional tournament to over 680,000 people only 1 month after that. Ninja basically had a Fortnite viewership monopoly for the first 6 months of the game. He was better than everyone else, more dedicated to streaming than everyone else, had an excellent attitude, and was a generally likable person. Everyone could agree that at the time, his 125,000 average Twitch viewers per stream and 200 million monthly views on YouTube were 110% deserved. However,
oh, absolutely they were. I mean, he was like the best player. He was streaming constantly, making content all the time. I mean, there's no question. Yeah, there's no fucking question. Nobody did it better. It's just that simple. He's toxic as fuck. Well, yeah, I mean, like, I like the Toxic Ninja. I thought that was funny. Tfue played the same time as Ninja. It's just nobody's watching a stream. Tfue popped off after... So, like, this is what happened with Tfue. Is that Tfue was, like, growing. Because, like, so Tfue and Cloak got signed by FaZe. And then after they got signed by FaZe, then Tfue got suspended. And he got suspended on Twitch because he said to kill somebody who was the short abbreviation of a raccoon. And Twitch interpreted this as racist, even though Tfue said it's just a term that he referred to different players' skins as, you know, like a skin in Fortnite, by the way. And so it was like, okay, like it's hard to really know what happened. And it's like, okay, whatever, right? But then as soon as that happened, the internet in general took Tfue's side on this. Right? Yeah, they in general took Tfue's side on this, and then his comeback stream was popular, and then he just kept popping off more and more and more.
The landscape was shifting underneath Ninja's feet. Other players, streamers, and YouTubers were beginning to match his skill level.
Hey, yo, there it is. There it fucking is. See, I told you guys. Look at that.
In April 2018, Ninja's peak month on both Twitch and YouTube, we saw players like Tfue uploading 36 kill solo v squad matches, High Distortion was dropping a 30 bomb every second day, and generally speaking, the skill gap that had helped Ninja to stand out in the beginning had well and truly begun to close by mid-2018. As other players were becoming better at the game, there was now significantly more competition for Ninja's channel on Twitch, and in the days of PUBG, he explained that more competition hurt his overall viewership.
Dr. Disrespect, Shroud, Summit, Tim the Tap Man. I have to compete with all of these people to just take away of a huge pool of people from like when they're not on, I'm up to like 12, 13, 14K sometimes.
That's big.
In addition to increasing Twitch,
that's just the way Twitch viewership works. There's not a lot of people on Twitch, and Twitch viewership also is like what's the word for it? It's like zero sum. Because like on YouTube, for example, you watch one video, then the next video. But on Twitch, if you're watching one person, you're probably not watching two streams at the same time. And so that, yeah, it's not fickle. It's just that that's the way it is. And Twitch is a small audience. So it's like you've got everybody competing for the same, like 1 or 2 million viewers.
Competition from individuals like Tfue, it seemed as though Ninja began to invest less energy into what blew him up in the first place, being a professional gamer, and rather focus more energy on being a branded celebrity.
And that's why he got worse at the game, is because you're thinking about doing all these fucking interviews and shit. You're gonna be busy. You're not, like, whenever you're doing these interviews flying around the country talking to celebrities, you're not practicing and grinding the game. And so that's also another big reason why Ninja, the difference like came in, because like you remember Tfue never did any of this shit, really. Tfue just played the fucking game. Like, the main difference that Tfue did from, like, back in the day to, like, you know, like, whenever he first came out, and then, is he started streaming without a shirt on sometimes. Like, that was about that. That was, like, the biggest. That was, like, oh, no, now he's not wearing a shirt. That was it.
Get involved in sponsorship deals with big companies. He started flying around the country doing meetings and interviews.
The last 6 months, flying everywhere and doing all these interviews and, you know, meetings and meetings.
While he'd upgrade his streaming room to a super expensive top-tier Ninja dojo.
Embroidered Ninja chair. This is where I'm going to be controlling all of the professional cameras in the room. Camera angle 1, camera angle 2, and camera angle 3. For the doggy bowl.
The room looked fantastic, there's no doubt about it, but it felt very commercial and it lacked the relatability.
People want to have the relatability in the commercial aspect. That's what it is. Like, it's just like, yeah, they don't give a shit about like, oh wow, this is some cool event. If people cared about commercial events, they'd be sitting on television watching The View. Like, they don't give a shit about that. They want real shit. That the thing is, a lot of people watch streams because they're looking for content that is relatable. Like, relatability is like way more important on Twitch than it is on YouTube, for example. So like, that's why having things that are, it's like you even have like guys, like there are guys that like, they feel more disconnected from you if you improve your life. Like if you start dating a girl, like I've had this happen, a lot of my viewers were pissed. They were like, well, you know, he's different now. It's not the same, right? It's crazy. But it's true. Like, it actually is true.
In authenticity that had helped him to grow in the
Nope.
beginning. Now,
That's
perhaps Ninja felt as though he needed to take this path of public appearances and material stream improvements in order to continue the growth of his brand. But other streamers like Tfue were certainly proving this to be the opposite.
Yep.
Turner was just this relatable dude living with his dad and brother at their messy suburban house in Florida. He'd win some
Yeah, and then like every once in a while he opened it so his shit would come through the window. Was
times
this it?
jump out the window,
Yeah.
reveal his backyard full of junk, and continue on playing. Now, obviously, it'd be
he's
ridiculous
just
to
a
claim that
goofball.
Tfue or any other creator's rise was directly responsible for Ninja's fall, but it did show that there were other players and streamers who just seemed more focused, relatable, or watchable. Ninja's
Well,
viewership
it's also, it wasn't really just that. It was that people were watching Fortnite. Fortnite was a competitive game.
We got
So
a
whenever
ring.
people are watching Fortnite, they want to watch somebody
Fucking
who's
took
good
us
at the
long
fucking
enough.
game. So if you're not the best player, you're not getting a lot of views. You see what I mean? So like there are like certain people are popular because they're popular, but a lot of Ninja's popularity came from being very good at the game. If you're not good at the game, people aren't going to watch you.
began to dive pretty rapidly in the 6 months after his peak, and in the process, it would also come to the surface that Ninja's extreme level of fame had brought about a further shift in his attitude and public image. As mentioned earlier, when Ninja was a comparatively smaller streamer, he really had nothing to lose when it came to being his authentic, unfiltered self.
That's
However,
about right.
after blowing up, he made the conscious effort to shift his personality into what he thought the audience wanted, as opposed to just being his natural self, specifically, for example, becoming family friendly. Now, it's super understandable as to why Ninja would do this. Obviously,
he also stopped using profanity on his stream. Like I'm pretty sure he did
also
that.
had
Is
his,
he didn't
like,
use profanity
Midnight
on stream
Adult
because like
stream
he
where he
had
would
a lot of
still
kids watching,
fucking do his
and he
shit
thought
and
that like
always-
basically. So here's what happens. If a kid hears profanity, like he hears the same like shit 3 times, it's like Beetlejuice, right? You hear it 3 times, and then the kid drops out of school and starts smoking weed. A lot of people might not know this because, you know, we don't have kids watching, but yeah, it's like Beetlejuice. Say fuck 3 times, kid starts smoking weed, drops out of school. It's too bad.
the fastest route to success is going to be deliver to the audience exactly what they want.
Exactly.
However, when it comes
Yeah,
to changing your
literally
own
just do that.
personality
It's
for the
that easy.
audience, you're getting into risky territory because you're starting to lose the authenticity that people followed you for in the beginning. And an authentic personality like what Ninja had in the beginning is not only an advantage, it's a requirement. It's the ability to say, here's what I think, if you don't like it, I don't care. If you then hate me, so be it, go watch someone else, I'll still be here streaming to those who enjoy what I do. Ninja had become the exact opposite of this. He'd given the audience complete and utter control of what he could and couldn't post. Literally, watch this clip where he doesn't even want to shout out his creator code or make a post on Twitter as he didn't want to receive backlash from his audience.
I don't promote my creator code very much because I just get flamed by everybody. I can't tweet.
Well, this is what happened, right? Is that this is one thing
Wrong
that
weapon.
happens to content creators is like you go back, you look at, remember whenever we watched that video of the Island Boys about how they were constantly like responding to people that don't like them? The best way that you can respond to people that don't like you, in my opinion, is to not only say fuck you, but say fuck you and do whatever they don't like you doing even more. Like you ignore them. Yeah, it's not only that, like you
Oh,
do
shit,
it
my
even more.
fucking animals.
Right? It's like the best revenge. My mom always told me the best revenge is living well. I said, fuck that. The best revenge is fucking somebody up, right? But like she never got with that. But like it actually is true though. Like she was right. I'm just an asshole. Is that like if you go and you like if to make somebody, nobody wants to feel like they are insignificant. And I think that's what happens whenever you say stuff like that, right?
Fuck,
Whenever
we're
you do
telling
whatever,
you.
right? Mom was right. No, she was right. Is that like now one thing that really pisses people off is like people will get mad at me and they'll see like, oh wow, Asmon's doing this or that, and I'm still successful. I'm still chilling. I'm still winning. Every fucking day I'm winning. And it doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter what you do, because if you're complaining about me, you don't fucking matter. And that's it. And the thing is, everybody says, you know what, like, that's good. So, like, the moment that you stop doing that, the moment that you lose that confidence, and I think that really it's internal confidence, that, like, because, like, at a certain point, you
40
believe
minutes.
what they're saying, and that's why you feel like you have to
Damn.
address it. You see what I'm saying?
Shit.
And so, like, whenever you feel like you're just, you like, you know
right,
what you're
the
doing,
ring.
you're confident in yourself,
Okay,
that's what
so
really
without
people
the
want to
ring,
see.
9% of things I want to tweet
We're at
because like people will just meme it. They make it into a meme.
Probably 2.5,
Selfies,
you
make it
know.
into a meme. Like
because we're almost guaranteed.
why I just post clips now.
All Ninja was doing was showing everyone
Also, for the 0 people watching me, over some reason stream if you talk myself. Oh, okay. Man, so we could have really got hard. So, from the blue Dagonoth Prime, get the Sears ring, which is 9 mil. From the Cream Dagonoth, the green one, get the Archer's ring, another 9 mil. From Dagonoth Rex, get the Berserker ring for 8 mil. Or we could have, and I'm sorry to call this unlucky, but I feel like a lot of you will agree with me because it's on the exact same level of rarity. You could have gotten a Warriors 200k. So we got the one for 8 mil, which is nice. We made a solid 10.4 mil in about 45 minutes of Dagonoth, but that's because we got lucky. That is a-okay. The fuck is my talisman? Incredibly. No. Yo, honestly, this is oh, do I want to hit another hour of Dagonoths? Do I want to do something else? Oh. You know, I didn't even test if my research. It's not. Now it is.
On how spineless he'd become.
Oh. I'll fucking take them. You know what we should do? You know, I can. This is gonna sound wild, but I've never actually killed. Never killed the dude for Saradomin. Like, I've done Kriara, I've done Krill. That's the best. Damn. Okay. That's if I get. Okay, first, put some. Go in my boss. What's so valuable? spell, Batman spell, Robin.
I recorded 2 of these
This is
today.
a wonderful.
But this, I don't know which one's gonna come out first. So if this is the first one, hello. If this is the second one, hello again. Gonna do a cover of a song that I really like. And I'm sure you've heard it by now. It's called Mr. Loverman by Ricky Montgomery. So here we go. I'm headed straight for the floor. The alcohol served its tour, and it's headed straight for my skin, leaving me deaf and dim. I've got this shake in my leg.
Don't speak when you spit your venom, keep it shut. I hate it when you hiss and preach about your new messiah, 'cause your theories catch fire. I can't find no silver lining. I don't mean to judge, but when you read your speech, it's tiring. Enough is enough. Covering my ears like a kid. When your words mean nothing, I go la la la. I'm turning up the volume when you speak, 'cause if my heart can't stop it, I'll find a way to block it. I go la 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 la.
Hello everybody, today I want to talk about a mental illness that has led to several controversies in both hospitals and courtrooms. This illness is not only hard to identify because of its unique symptoms, but the very existence of the disease itself is often debated. And that disease, which we'll be looking at today, is Munchausen syndrome by proxy. Munchausen syndrome by proxy is an extension of another mental illness known as Munchausen syndrome. Munchausen syndrome can most easily be described as faking your own illness in order to deceive others. And already we have our first hang-up with identifying this syndrome. Say you were to lie about being sick so you could get out of work or potentially win a lawsuit. That's not Munchausen syndrome, that's just making a lie in order to get some certain objective. Whereas with Munchausen syndrome, the goal is the lie itself. People who are diagnosed with Munchausen syndrome will spend months or years of their life in and out of hospitals to try to convince those around them that they actually have a serious illness, when in actuality they have either induced the sickness or symptoms on themselves or are straight up lying about it altogether. The name actually comes from Baron von Munchausen, a fictional cavalry officer from the 1700s who there were several folk stories about him riding on cannonballs and jumping to the moon and other tall tales. In 1951, when Richard Asher discovered this syndrome, he decided to name it after the stories of Baron von Munchausen because this is essentially people telling tall tales in the modern age. The general symptoms of Munchausen syndrome and the way to spot it in the wild is that the patient will never get better, they will not respond to the regular treatment for the illness that they supposedly have, they will be very knowledgeable about their treatment, and will have a lack of visitors or people interested in their case, at least most of the time. As you can probably already tell, there is a thin line between Munchausen syndrome and just trying to get some benefit through a fabricated illness. To the degree, and we're going to look at examples of this, Munchausen syndrome is sometimes only defined by the value of whatever the lie can give. Now that's all Munchausen syndrome, right? Someone lying about themselves in order to get some benefit or attention. Munchausen syndrome by proxy, which we're going to focus on today, is all of that done to another person. Or in other words, whenever someone induces or pretends that there is an illness in someone else so that they, the caretaker, can receive the attention, the fame, etc. And if it really is a mental illness, which we'll talk about the details of it today, then the very presence of it implies the harm of another individual. So today we are going to look at some of the most famous historical cases of this disease, as well as the history of the legality behind it, and ask the overall question, is it even real? I will also say the cases we'll be looking at today involve children, so if that's something that you're sensitive to, then you may want to skip out on this one. But if you are interested in that, stick around after the ad as we break down what is without a doubt the most controversial disease in modern courts and hospitals. But before we get into that, let me ask you a question. When is the last time you felt proud about your breakfast choices?
Yes.
That's what I thought. See, as a kid, I was obsessed with cereals that had an unholy amount of sugar in them. And now, as a pretend adult, I pretend to care about my health and always feel guilty whenever I fall back on those old breakfast foods. Well, if you're looking for something that's great for you and tastes just as good, I would like to introduce you to today's sponsor, Magic Spoon. Magic Spoon is the healthy breakfast option that contains 0 grams of sugar, only 4 grams of carbs, and 13 to 14 grams of protein per serving. Not only that, but it's also gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, and keto-friendly. And if you're like me, you're going to hear that and say, oh, okay, so it tastes awful, right? But as the guy who just cleared these 4 boxes and then ordered another month's worth, I can tell you for certain that it tastes pretty fantastic. To the degree that I am almost suspicious. Like whenever these 4 boxes came in, I tried out the peanut butter one first because I love peanut butter stuff. And I sat there for a second like, this can't be right. To which I then ripped open all 4 boxes and began to eat handfuls of each of them because I thought I was going crazy. And while not crazy, probably, I can confirm that the fruity flavor is definitely my favorite. Also, just as a total side note, they also put games on the backs of the boxes. And that's not a huge deal, but it means a lot to me and I appreciate it. And at only 140 calories per serving, I have no idea what kind of sorcery they put into the, well, it is called Magic Spoon, so I guess they were kind of upfront about that. And you can get in on this magical offer today by going to the link in the description at magicspoon.com/Wendigoon and make sure that you enter discount code Wendigoon to get your order for $5 off. You can go to that link and get the variety pack that you see here of these 4 boxes, or get individual boxes, sign up for a subscription service, or whatever you like. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product that they have a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you order it, decide you don't like it, you can get your money back, although I'm sure you'll love it. So if you're interested, check out the link below at magicspoon.com/Wendigoon, or go to Magic Spoon and use discount code Wendigoon to get $5 off your order. Thank you all so much for watching the ad. Thank you so much to Magic Spoon for sponsoring the video. It really does mean the most. I hope you all check them out. Link in the description. And we are back to the video. We are going to go ahead and get into it, but as always, thank you for watching. We're going to look at a bunch of examples of Munchausen syndrome by proxy, but I want to start out with what is considered by many to be the shining example of it. And no, not Gypsy Rose. We'll talk about her later. And that is the case of Mary Beth Tinning. Mary Beth Tinning married her husband Joseph Tinning in 1965. She had her first child, Barbara, in 1967, and her second child, Joseph Jr., in 1970. Everything was going well until Mary Beth delivered her third child on December the 26th of 1971. It was on that day that her daughter Jennifer was born with meningitis and brain abscesses. Because of these complications, Jennifer passed away 1 week after being born on January the 3rd. It seems like this was the switch in Mary Beth's psyche that led to her later atrocities. 2 weeks after this event, she brought her second child, Joseph Jr., to the hospital, saying that he was suffering from seizures and was constantly vomiting. The hospital released him after a couple days because after putting him under surveillance, nothing was wrong and he seemed to be a healthy child. That same day, on January the 20th, Mary Beth brought him back hours later because he had suffered a heart attack. It was too late for the doctors to do anything, and Joseph Jr. passed away. About a month later, on March the 1st, she rushed her first child, Barbara, to the same hospital. Barbara was in a comatose state, and Mary Beth said that she had been convulsing before passing out. Nothing could be done, and after a few days, Barbara passed away, with her official cause of death being listed as Rey syndrome, which is a disease of the brain. In the span of 3 months, Mary Beth had lost all 3 of her children, but this wasn't the end of the story. On Thanksgiving Day of 1973, Mary Beth gave birth to a 4th child. Mary Beth rushed this child, Timothy, back to the hospital a few weeks after he was born, saying that he wouldn't wake up. This 4th child, Timothy, was dead, and the cause of death was ruled as SIDS, Sudden Infant Death Syndrome. A little over a year later, Mary Beth had her 5th child by the name of Nathan, and was declared dead after, according to Mary Beth, they were alone in the car and he began seizing, then passed out. In August of 1978, Mary Beth adopted a baby named Michael, and 2 months later had a daughter, Mary Frances. 2 months after Mary Frances was born, she was rushed to the hospital for, again, a seizure, before she was revived and allowed to return home. 1 month after that, she was brought back to the hospital again for a heart attack and died 2 days later. In the fall of 1979, Mary Beth had her now 8th child, Jonathan, and then a few months after he was born, he was rushed to the hospital for a heart attack and died there after spending 4 weeks on life support. And I know what you're thinking. How does one person have 7 children die under the same circumstances and no one thinks to ask any questions? Well, you see, it is true that there are certain genetic disorders that make it very hard for someone with those genes to live past a certain age. The medical community around Mary Beth, especially considering the first death in her family took place while the baby was being born in the hospital, that the children simply had bad genes and weren't cut out to live for very long. This theory was thrown out in 1981 when the same thing happened to her adopted son, Michael. The then 2-year-old child was brought into the hospital after he fell asleep and simply wouldn't wake up. This was the first time that the medical community became suspicious of Mary Beth, because up until then it was just a very tragic story of a mother who couldn't keep any of her children alive. But now that an adopted kid died due to a supposedly genetic disorder, that's when people started to look more closely at the case. So then in 1985, whenever Mary Beth gave birth to her 9th child, everyone was watching and waiting for the worst. This child
My tax refund by
We are Tegan and Sarah.
Stop giving me ads. Gonna do another hour of Dagonoth Kings, then we'll do some actual fucking calculate. I hope this is the elevator. I'm going down. Of conspiracies that I will never give my honest opinion.
Cause I got a rifle, don't ever fuck with me. Cause I got enemies, nobody's there for me. So Father, forgive me for you know that I'm always in it. I take new interest, partying with liquor, fucking up my system. Excuse my language as I hang up on how shitty I be feeling.
I hope.
Sorry, I feel no attraction in none of these men and women. 'Cause I've been so low for so long. Oh, oh, oh. Yeah, yeah. 'Cause I've been so low for so long. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Who do you ride for? Who do you cry for? Cry for? It's now or never. Gotta keep it together. Oh Lord, it's taking over me. 'Cause I got enemies, I got enemies. Nobody's there for me. So Father, forgive me, for you know that I'm always in it. I take new interest, partying with liquor, fucking up my system. Excuse my language, that's a hang up on how shitty I be feeling. I'm sorry, I feel no attraction in none of these men and women. 'Cause I've been so low for so long. Oh, oh, oh. Yeah, yeah. 'Cause I've been so low for so long. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You do no wrong. And I tried my best, yeah. Only to fall. Going in and out of love, burning rubber, riding solo, yeah. I'm too fucked up. Tell me what you really want from me. Is that too much? Is that too much? Is that too much? Oh,
Not even close.
'cause I've been so low for so long. Oh, oh, oh. Yeah, yeah. 'Cause I've been so low for so long. Oh, oh, oh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cause I got a rifle, don't ever fuck with me. 'Cause I got enemies, nobody's there for me. So Father, forgive me.
Tammy Lynn was born in August of that year, and sure enough, in December, was brought into the hospital after suffering a heart attack. However, this time, rather than what they had previously done whenever the child comes in, they see that the heart is stopped and they just declare it cardiac arrest. They did a full autopsy looking over every part of the child's body and eventually came to the conclusion that the child had been smothered. They then immediately exhumed 6 of the previous bodies in order to do full autopsies on them now that they had evidence, although at that point so much time had passed that no conclusive evidence could be found. And during the interrogation, Mary Beth signed a confession saying that she had killed Tammy Lynn, Timothy, and Nathan, although later in court she would say that she was coerced into doing this. The prosecution essentially believed that she had murdered 8 of the 9 children, with the first one, Jennifer, that I mentioned earlier, being the only natural death because the entire thing took place in the hospital, and as I mentioned earlier, was probably the catalyst for everything. However, she was only ever convicted for the murder of Tammy Lynn and was sentenced to 20 to life. Mary Beth serves as one of the most famous cases of Munchausen syndrome by proxy, and I want to take a deeper look at that.
She liked the attention of people feeling sorry for her because she had lost her children. She's an example of what we call the Munchausen by proxy syndrome, in which a parent uses or harms a child to get attention.
The core theory that was mentioned in the court and with most people that talk about the case is that during the death of her first child, either she was damaged in some way or experienced such trauma that she became sort of addicted to the thrill of it all. And the reason that she's touted as an example of Munchausen by proxy is because she supposedly killed her children in order to achieve that thrill. But if that's the case, then how is it different than any other form of thrill killing? Obviously, the definition of Munchausen by proxy isn't just anyone that kills for a thrill, because then that would loop in any serial killer or cult leader that did the same things because they enjoyed it. And if we narrow it down to say anyone that kills their own family for a thrill, then that would mean anyone who hated their spouse or parents and killed them because they didn't want to be around them anymore would technically be Munchausen by proxy. You could even bring it down further to say specifically children, but then that would mean that any case of filicide counts. And also, there are several other cases of Munchausen by proxy that do not involve the family specifically. It can be a caretaker looking over people in a hospital, or even through parasocial relationships online where someone on the internet convinces someone else that they're actually sick. I'm going to talk about the specific example and reasons that I feel this way in a little bit once I've shown more evidence, but I don't think that this famous case of Munchausen by proxy is actually Munchausen by proxy. See, from the 50s, when this was discovered, to the early 2000s, there was this huge push to call anything that involved child abuse a form of MBP, which I'm going to call it from here on because Munchausen by proxy is a long word. And because of that, there were several cases of someone just murdering their spouse or murdering their children where some psychiatrist would come in and say, oh yes, this is a classic case of MBP. During the court proceedings, Mary Beth said that the reason she killed her 9th child is because she was so paranoid and afraid that the child was going to die that she kind of just wanted to get it over with. Which definitely points to some mental illness in her life, but I don't think it was MBP. See, that's where the challenge comes with identifying this thing. It seems that the nature of the disease itself is in the intent. See, as it's defined and as the more infamous cases exemplify, again, except for the Mary Beth one, MBP is most often about control or the burnout that happens during the time that someone is made ill. It is about someone affecting a domain that they have control over in order to maintain or secure a massive form of control on it. The cases we're going to be looking at today are about parents doing that to their children, primarily mothers, but it can also be seen in cases such as whenever men have MBP.
Mi corazón. Te lo dije bien clarito. Permanece a la escucha. Permanece a la escucha.
12 de la noche en La Habana, Cuba.
11 de la noche en San Salvador, El Salvador.
11 de la noche en Managua, Nicaragua.
Me gustan los aviones, me gustas tú. Me gusta viajar, me gustas tú. Me gusta la mañana, me gustas tú. Me gusta el viento, me gustas tú. Me gusta soñar, me gustas tú. Me gusta la mar, me gustas tú. ¿Qué voy a hacer? Je ne sais pas. ¿Qué voy a hacer? Je ne sais plus. ¿Qué voy a hacer? Je suis perdu. ¿Qué horas son? Mi corazón. Me gusta la moto, me gustas tú. Me gusta correr, me gustas tú. Me gusta la lluvia, me gustas tú. Me gusta volver, me gustas tú. Me gusta marihuana, me gustas tú. Me gusta colombiana, me gustas tú. Me gusta la montaña, me gustas tú. Me gusta la noche. ¿Qué voy a hacer? Je ne sais pas. ¿Qué voy a hacer? Je ne sais plus. ¿Qué voy a hacer? Je suis perdu. ¿Qué horas son? Mi corazón.
12, 1 minuto.
gusta la cena, me gustas tú. Me gusta la vecina, me gustas tú. Me gusta su cocina, me gustas tú. Me gusta camelar, me gustas tú. Me gusta la guitarra, me gustas tú. Me gusta el reggae, me gustas tú. ¿Qué voy a hacer? Je ne sais pas. ¿Qué voy a hacer? Je ne sais plus. ¿Qué voy a hacer? Je suis perdu. ¿Qué horas son, mi corazón? Me gusta la canela, me gustas tú. Me gusta el fuego, me gustas tú. Me gusta menear, me gustas tú. Me gusta la Coruña, me gustas tú. Me gusta Malasaña, me gustas tú. Me gusta la castaña, me gustas tú. Me gusta Guatemala, me gustas tú. ¿Qué voy a hacer? Je ne sais pas. ¿Qué voy a hacer? Je ne sais plus. ¿Qué voy a hacer? Je suis perdu. ¿Qué horas son, mi corazón? ¿Qué voy a hacer? Je ne sais plus. ¿Qué voy a hacer? Je ne sais plus. ¿Qué voy a hacer? Je suis perdu. ¿Qué horas son, mi corazón? ¿Qué voy a hacer? Je ne sais plus. ¿Qué voy a hacer? Je ne sais plus. ¿Qué voy a hacer? Je suis perdu. ¿Qué horas son, mi corazón? 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 ¿Qué horas son, mi corazón?
4 de la mañana.
Alabín, alabán, alabín, bomban. Alabín, alabán, alabín, bomban. Obladi, oblada, obladitata. Alabín, alabán, alabín, bomban.
Radio Reloj. 5 de la mañana.
No todo lo que es oro brilla. Remedio chino e infalible.
Okay, what do I want to listen to while I farm the next? Oh, this should be.
In Albion, no matter where you go or what you do, your mount will accompany you on your journey. Perhaps you'll pick the ox, a merchant's best friend. It can carry anything you throw at it. Anything. Okay, maybe not that much. Or the fearless armored horse. It doesn't mind riding even into certain death. And in case you want to cosplay as the ultimate edgelord, we've got just the right mount for you. Perhaps you prefer a more peaceful life, that of a gatherer. This deer will help you haul your resources. Just look at these strong legs. If you're unfortunate enough to encounter this beast, honestly, just run. Or go with a cat like everyone else. It's cute, I get it. Whatever your style or what you do in the game, Albion Online has the right companion for you.
Hello everybody, today we are going to be talking about one of the most terrifying cases that I've ever read about, and that is the disappearance of the Yuba County Five.